What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Chris Wormley Show, brought to you by YinzerCrazy.com, as well as the Yinzer Crazy podcast. My name is Mike McCastro, and listen, first thing is first over here. If you like the content we're providing you, if you're a big fan of Yinzer Crazy, do us a favor. One, hit that subscribe button so you get all of this content right to your phone or computer at all times. And two, give us a follow. Check us out on Twitter at Yinzer Crazy Show. Follow us on Instagram at Yinzer_crazy. And then follow our personals, of course, at Mike Dub Sports One, at Jordan York Music. Right there, you can see it below you. And I know you're snacking right now, but in just 1 minute, I want to ask you about something really special. Jordan's got a new album coming out. But first, I'm going to tell you guys who's on my Christmas nice list this season. None other than the Johns over at Steel City Wheelhouse. They're the best. They have a Toys for Tots drive going on right now, doing some incredible stuff in the community. Of course, they have two locations, one in Imperial, one in the Meadowlands. Listen, if you need truck tires, if you need an alignment, if you need a lift kit, window tint, anything, Jordan, I mean, literally anything. Most importantly right now, as you know, is freezing out there. Get yourself a damn self-car starter, right? Get yourself a remote start.
I also got to get some winter tires too. So, yeah, man, Steel City Wheelhouse, they've been riding with us, no pun intended, all season, and we're happy to have them supporting the Chris Wormley Show. So make sure you check them out, steelcitywheelhouse.com. Again, great people, affordable prices, and just the best, honestly, not just in Pittsburgh, but in the biz. So check them out.
Good people.
The Chris Wormley Show.
Good people all around. Maybe we'll have you do a jingle for them. And while we're on the subject of music, you just had an appearance on K2K this past weekend. Fan Nation, shout out to them for having you on. Tell us about your new Yinzer Crazy album. You got a whole collection of sports songs dedicated to the bird, baby.
Yeah, so, and even the podcast, actually. So,
Sure.
What you hear in here. So just a little teaser, but yeah, man, it was cool. You know, we announced the album. We're going to be dropping a Pitt song. Me and my producer, Gallo Loch Ness, great guy. He does a lot of stuff like in sports with the NBA and stuff. So I was excited to link up with him and produce this. It's all original music, all original beats. And yeah, man, it might be one of the first full Pittsburgh sports albums. I haven't seen any out there. So I'm really excited, man. It's just bringing everything back to Yinzer Crazy. And, you know, we were kind of just looking over at our year in review, and we just really grew tremendously. And it starts with all of you guys. We really do appreciate everything, every single one. The live event went great. And it's just awesome, man. I mean, I know you say this, but it's just crazy. We get to talk to number 95 every week during the season. So, yeah, man, we can't wait for the future. And we have a bunch of stuff, man. The album's going to be dropping, so there's going to be a lot going on next year. So we are excited. We can't wait.
Well said. We continue to break barriers over here at YinzerCrazy.com, the Yinzer Crazy podcast. I want to mention one more thing really quickly before we bring in Chris Wormley and talk about Steelers football, is that obviously Penguins season is in full swing as well. They've been hot recently, and we just debuted the initial episode of the Ken Reggett and Friends show, the former Pens goaltender, guy who had a 20-year NHL career. I'm sure if you're a Pittsburgh sports fan, you know who Ken Reggett is. I'm sure if you're a Penguins fan, you know who Ryan Malone is. He was on the debut episode yesterday, so make sure you guys check that out. All right, man. I cut myself yesterday in my finger, and I started bleeding black and gold, so you know what time it is. It's time to bring on number 95, our good friend, and a guy who's been excellent all season, Chris Wormley. You ready?
And what is up, everybody? It's JY here. I'm here with Mike and the most important guy, the man of the hour, number 95, Toledo's own Christopher Wormley. How are you feeling, man?
Yeah, man, what an entrance. I'm good, man. I am excited for a new week. And I was just telling you guys before the show, I got a little Permane Brothers on the way. So let's get the show over with, and I'll get to smashing. I'm just kidding, but I am
reheat it.
Yeah, I definitely have to reheat it, but yeah, I'm excited for a new week and the Tennessee Titans.
I tell you what, I'm never doing another intro again after that fire that Jordan York just spit out of his computer. Man, what a way to start the show. I hate to bring us down a notch after that explosive intro from both the Yins, But obviously, I want to touch on the heartbreaker a little bit last Thursday at Minnesota. A first half, certainly to forget for the defense, Worm. Why was that? What are some things that went wrong?
I mean, it's kind of been the same theme for most of our losses, and we just can't stop the run. When you have a guy like Dalvin Cook, who is one of the premier backs in the league, and you let him run for a career high 200 plus yards, that's a recipe for disaster. And as you guys saw that first half, we couldn't stop him. And I think that's probably the most frustrating part of everything. When you go back and watch the film, it's just this theme that we keep having, week after week of not being able to stop the run.
Yeah, no question. And obviously it's been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde approach, because you and I like to talk about, how well you guys did against Nick Chubb, who might be the best back in the league, arguably in Cleveland. So we know that you guys certainly have it in you. Another thing you guys always have in you is the ability to fight back, right? I think it says a lot about the character of the team. I want to talk about the fight that you guys have. Your fearless leader out there, Ben Roethlisberger, helping bring the guys back from that deficit. How much does that inspire confidence in the rest of you? And just talk about Ben's leadership from the quarterback standpoint.
Yeah, like you said, he's our fearless leader. He was a big reason why we did come back from 29 points almost and at least get us into overtime, or have a chance at overtime with that 2-point conversion at the end of the game. But yeah, when you have a guy like that we know that can put points on the board really fast, and all we have to do as defense is get stops, that gives us a lot of confidence and a lot of motivation to go out there and win. And it's really fun when both sides of the ball are clicking and are putting on a show. And this past Thursday night just wasn't at least on the defensive side of the ball our night. And like I said, it's just frustrating.
Yeah, so last week we talked about how sore you are, and I know you don't like to make excuses, but how were you feeling going into that game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously those 3 days after a Sunday game, you're a little sore. But once Thursday night rolled around, we had that those extra few hours Thursday night to kind of get ready and get prepared. And once the adrenaline's flowing and you got some pre-workout in you, you're ready to rock and roll. But it did seem like we were kind of in a little bit of a slump those first 2.5 quarters, especially on the defense side of the ball.
Yeah, so obviously it was a tough ending to the game with Muth. I know that Big Ben talked to him, told it wasn't his fault. What have you talked to him, and how is he like this week going into the Titans game?
Yeah, you guys know how Muth is. He's a young guy with great energy and a great spirit. So I think he brushed that off. Obviously, it was kind of a bang play at the end of the game, and it kind of brings me back to the hit that Minka had, where he got a personal foul for his hit, which was about as clean could be. It's the textbook hit. When a receiver's going over the middle, that's the risk that a quarterback and a receiver put themselves in to make a play. And obviously, Minka, being the smart player he is, he wasn't going to go helmet to helmet, and he hit him right in the chest with his shoulder, which is textbook. So when you look at those two plays, I think if you're going to throw that flag on Minka, you kind of have to throw the flag on the play with Muth. But I mean, I'm not here to make excuses. So one of those bang plays, and I think Muth has kind of brushed it off and is looking forward to Tennessee like the rest of us.
Yeah, we know he'll bounce back, no question about it. And your point about Minka is spot on. Obviously, from the couch, as couch observers, we thought the same thing. Minka is usually a relatively quiet guy. For him to jump on Twitter and share the video and give his thoughts, I think tells you all you need to know about that play. Yeah. Anyway, let's transition a little bit, obviously, because that is, as Pirates manager Clint Hurdle once said, you shower it off, you shower well, and you're on to the next game right after that. I first want to ask you about the AFC North a little bit. We're late in the season, right? You guys are still right in the thick of things. This division is for the taking. Are you guys kind of at the point where you're starting to scoreboard watch a little bit? You could be honest, or is it like, hey, focus on myself?
No, especially when you lose Thursday night and you have the whole weekend to watch every other team in the NFL play. It's like, all right, who do we want to win this game? Who do we want to lose this game? And it's like, you're right. We wanted the Browns to win. At least I did. I know you tweeted it out. Like, we wanted the Browns to win. They did. And the Cincinnati Bengals lost. So I think although we lost, we're, like you said, we're still right in the thick of it. We still play those. We still play the Browns and the Ravens at the end of the year. And if we win these, it starts with the Titans. So
One game at a time.
But we're still right in the thick of it. We got 4 games left, and we're going to see where the cards fall. But I'm excited for this next month of football. December football is kind of really what defines, I think, a team and defines kind of your season. So I'm excited for these next 4 weeks.
If you're reading my tweets that closely, I'm going to have to be careful. Really, I think the advice is just don't look at dimensions. Don't look at the responses because it can get a little messy in there at times. Just on Twitter in general, I think that's a broad picture of Twitter for sure. All right, on to the Titans. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I said I call it post and ghost. I read on Twitter and I'll tweet something out, but I just kind of let the mentions and let the Twitterverse kind of implode on themselves and stay out of it.
Yeah. Post and go. I'm gonna have to write that on my hand and take your advice.
Post and ghost, like a post and ghost.
Post and ghost. Post and go. I thought you were running a route tree over here or something. Post and ghost. I'm gonna remember that. I might get it tattooed on my body. All right, let's talk Tennessee Titans. Obviously, it's a really good football team, 9-4. You guys faced them last year in what was just a wild game. What do you remember from that contest?
I remember being up by a bunch, playing really good defense for the first 3.5 quarters, and then they kind of stormed back and almost took it to overtime. I think they missed a field goal at the end, if I'm not mistaken, to would-be send us into overtime. But yeah, they're a great running team. Obviously, Derrick Henry isn't back yet, but it seems that they are, finding ways to win and run the ball without him. They have a really good O-line. Taylor Lewan, I think, kind of leads that charge with him being a Michigan guy, so I kind of know him a little bit. And it's always fun to go up against him whenever we get to face him. But, yeah, I think this is my sixth time playing the Titans, or the 5th or 6th time. So they're probably the second or the 4th most team that I've played in my career. So kind of know them pretty familiar. Obviously, we know how Vrabel likes to play football, and that's defense and run the ball. But they have really good receivers. They got Tannehill, who's a top quarterback. So they're a very well-rounded team.
We're going to circle back to Taylor Lewan in a second. I'm glad you brought that up because I do want to talk a little bit of maize and blue in just a few minutes here. But, of course, I still want to do some Worm Association, the classic game we like to play here on the Chris Wormley Show, brought to you by UnzerCrazy.com and Case-Specific Meal Prep. Make sure you check them out, CSMP.com, of course, for all of your meals. When you're not eating for Manny's, check out Case-Specific Meal Prep, all kind of good stuff over there. All right, let's talk about a guy who's been in the league a very long time, a guy, fortunately, you will not have to cover. Julio Jones is back in full force of the Titans.
Yeah, I think he was out for a couple of weeks with an injury, but he's future Hall of Famer, one of those top 5 to 10 receivers in the league still, and can make a defense look really stupid if we're not careful at how we cover him in our game plan.
All right, tell me about Ola Adeniyi. Did you guys form a relationship?
Yeah, Ola's great. I was with him for 1 year, but he's having a really good season. I know he was excited to showcase what he could do in the league, and I think he's been able to do that. Not only on special teams, but on defense. I know he's got a handful of sacks now, and is really playing well. So I'm excited for him, but hopefully he takes it easy on Sunday.
Yeah, no question. It's unfortunate the Steelers won't get to see Bud Dupree, obviously a terrific Steeler. He is on the shelf currently, but might get a little big dose of Ola there in his shoes potentially. All right, let's talk a little Michigan. Obviously, there was no game this past weekend, but there was still relevance. Aiden Hutchinson. So your guy, Taylor Lewan, called it Michigan on – or first of all, I want to read his tweet to you. Sorry. He called it rigged, the Heisman Trophy, in which Aiden Hutchinson came in second to Alabama quarterback Bryce Young, saying that they couldn't handle Michigan's success this year. Aiden Hutchinson won that by a landslide. I'm assuming you agree.
Of course, but I think if Michigan was the only school to have 2 defensive players win the Heisman, I think there would be some saltiness going on. And obviously, Bryce Young had a great season, but I think and nothing to go against Bryce Young. I think Alabama is still Alabama without Bryce Young. And the things that Aiden did week in and week out, and in the manner in which he did it, I think speaks for himself. But I mean, look, he got second place. I'm happy he beat out the guy from Ohio State. That put a smile on my face. But yeah, I was pulling for Aiden or Kenny Pickett to win it. So, but obviously Bryce Young had a great season, so hats off to him.
All right, fair enough. You didn't go as far as your buddy Taylor there, but it was good answer, no question about it. And yeah, there are no happy Heisman fans, I guess, in this room necessarily, obviously, because we root for Aiden and Jordan, of course, close with the Pitt program. A lot of support there for Kenny Pickett, who I'm with you. I think if you switch schools, maybe Pickett to Alabama, Bryce Young to Pitt, Bryce Young might not even be in that conversation. All right, speaking of shifting into a more cheerful mode, obviously we're excited because we have a large stretch of games that are still very meaningful for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can't downplay that. But we're also excited for the holidays, Jordan. Isn't that true?
Yeah, so obviously everyone wants to know what Chris is doing for Christmas. So I'm just going to, kind of rapid fire, kind of like we did at the live show. So what is your favorite Christmas song, if you had to pick?
I was just talking about this with my massage guy, but I think the whole Michael Bublé album is my go-to. Just his nice, calm voice that just soothes you during the holidays. Especially at night, you put if you got a fireplace, put the fireplace on, drink some hot cocoa, and just listen to him. That's my go-to. I think
he was actually just in Pittsburgh too. He performed recently, but yeah, him and Frank Sinatra are my go-tos.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, so next question. Everyone wants to know, are you going to be dressing up as Santa Claus for your daughter this year?
I did that last year, and it did not turn out so well. And this past weekend, when we had the weekend off, we went and she saw Santa, and it went a little better. She kind of got the concept, but we actually fly out on Saturday on Christmas Day to play the Chiefs, and then the next day is her birthday, the 26th. So
wow.
It's going to be a jam-packed weekend with football and Christmas and lots of gifts for my daughter. So I'm excited to celebrate.
Well, that's awesome. So one more, we'll end it with this one. Favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, man. I would have to go with Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, what a great point. I was just talking about that with my girlfriend, in that it's the only sequel, I think, in history, maybe. There might be some Star Wars fans out there that disagree. That is definitely better than the first.
I love the first one, don't get me wrong, but the second one, I think, whenever I'm scrolling through the TV around this time, I'll stop and watch a half hour, 45 minutes of it. But I think another sequel would be The Dark Knight.
Oh, good call. Pittsburgh Ties, Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger is a Joker. And then the third one, where it is in Pittsburgh, is just absolutely incredible.
Really good,
nice call there. I'm a big fan of those, that Batman series, no question about it. All right, I have a really cheesy joke for you, Warren. Let's see if you can hit this one on the head. So not to make any light of any ongoing situation, obviously, but I like this joke. I'll just put it that way, right? You can like jokes. So what is the best way to wash your hands this Christmas, Warren?
You got me.
With Santa-tizer. Come on, man. It's the corniest thing you've probably ever heard.
That's like a dad joke. That's like a bad dad joke.
It's awful. It would be something that you would hear in like Home Alone 5.
Most dad jokes are like pretty bad, but that one like is bad.
No, it's bad. It's really bad. I can also agree and acknowledge that. Like I said, it's something you would hear in like. I also realized during these Christmas movies that another movie I love is the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. They've made like 38 of them. I'll somehow turn on Freeform and they'll be like, the Santa Claus 14 is on. And I'm like, who's watching these? So that would probably be a joke that fits in one of those other terrible Christmas movies. Anyway, we wish you all the luck in the world, man. As we said multiple times on this episode, a lot of football to be played. A lot, Steelers right in the thick of this thing. So it'll be a lot of fun catching up with you each week throughout the rest of the season. Most importantly, really, enjoy the holidays. I know we'll catch up with you Tuesday. Anyways, before then, stay healthy and good luck against the Titans on Sunday. Well, obviously, I'll be pulling for you.
Absolutely. Thanks, fellas.
crazy. I know yins are crazy, but so am I. Number one sports site in the burg, let me show you why. The latest stories in unbeatable podcast with your favorite athletes. You know you can't pause that. Super Bowl, World Series, Stanley Cup champs. Rising stars, Berg personalities for the fans. We love our city, always Pittsburgh proud. When you're at your job or while you got your cell phones out. Breaking down the touchdown, goals and home runs. Predictions and interview, who does it like us? No one. Cheering on the Berg squads, no pom-pom. Don't know by now it's yinzercrazy.com.